Welcome everyone to the first ever top 10 list in Forza Motorsport 7. My name is Raymond and I will be your host for today. Today we're going to be counting down the top 10 tips and tricks for people to improve in Forza Motorsport 7. Now before we get started, just a few disclaimers as well as an announcement. First off, these tips are probably mainly going to apply to people who are beginners and people who are intermediate. If you're an expert at the game, most of this stuff won't affect you, but I still recommend you stick around in case I teach you something new. That having been said, as well, next week we're going to be doing a top 5. That will be the top 5 tips and tricks on learning how to drift. So if you have some recommendations to leave those in the comments below. That having been said, let's get into it. Now at number 10, we're going to talk about something pretty darn basic, but if you've never played the games before or are new to the franchise, this is something you might not have it tackled. This is the assists. The first thing you want to do when you get into Forza is change your assists immediately, because you have things like assisted braking, which allow you to do the whole entire race while holding the trigger because it does all your braking for you, and assisted steering. You want to turn those off immediately so that you yourself can learn how to properly steer and when to brake, or else the game will keep doing that for you and you will not be having full experience. As well, I highly recommend turning off all traction control, as well going into manuals. It's something that will take some time getting used to, but will make the game far more enjoyable. If you can, try manual with clutch. Basically, the goal of the assists is just to immerse yourself in the game, and by leaving them all turned on, you're really limiting what you can do as a Forza player. You will never become good, literally. You'll just stay in the same spot forever. So turn off those assists and try out some new things. Coming in at number 9, we have something pretty basic again, and that is ATAR difficulty. If you don't know what that is, stick around. ATAR difficulty is basically the difficulty of the AI setting, and my personal recommendation is that you set it to a level so that you're consistently arriving in third and second, not that you're always arriving in first. If you're always arriving in first, that means it's too easy for you and you're not challenging yourself, and the more you challenge yourself, the more you will improve in Forza Motorsport 7. Now at number 8, we have something that sounds simple but actually takes quite a bit of practice, and that is feathering, either the throttle or the brakes. Now for those of you that don't understand what I'm saying, it's quite simple yet very complicated to master. And that is simply put, instead of coming into a corner and slamming the brakes and then slamming the gas when exiting, you want to ease your way onto the brakes, ease your way onto the left trigger, not press it down all the way because then you're locking the brakes and you lose control. And when exiting, you want to ease your way back onto the gas so that you don't start oversteering and or drifting, as they say it. Now at number 7, we have one of the most difficult concepts to grasp in Forza ever, and that is to use the brakes. Now wait, I know what I said is controversial. When you're in an online lobby and you're racing with other people, using the brakes is not common sense because people regularly crash each other out by trying to underbrake a corner, but 3/4 of the time they just forget to brake, period. So the only piece of advice that I have to give to you is use your brakes. Now, number 6 sort of ties into number 7. It is a tip on how not to crash into people in multiplayer, and it's quite simple. When you're in single player, go to your assists and turn on simulation damage. If you're playing against challenging AIs and you want to add another level to improve your racing, turn on that simulation damage. It will force you to race more cleanly, and therefore, as a result, when in online lobbies, you can do clean overtakes without crashing people out, and you will be more aware of your car, because if you're racing with simulation damage, you don't want to crash. It will damage your car and make it harder for you to get a better ranking in the race. So, race with that and see how things turns out, because I guarantee you will improve. At number 5, it's nothing too special, but to me it makes a lot of sense. Try out drifting. Now drifting takes a lot of practice to get good at, but if you put a little bit of time and effort into it and get decent at it, it could come in handy whenever you snap your car and lose control of it. It is an opportunity for you to regain. While if you're not a big fan of drifting, that's fine. It'll give you a next level control. If you do enjoy the idea of drifting, well, it's pretty much fun when you get good at it, so that's why you'd want to try it. Now at number 4, and I know this one might sound repetitive, but use your brakes, for God's sakes, guys. Honestly, I'm tired of getting crashed out every time I do a race online. Now, number 3 is actually something that you learn over from experience, but I'm going to give you a tip right now so you don't do the mistake yourself. And that is, whenever you spin out or crash out on a track before re-entering, always check for oncoming traffic. Now, it's not common sense in a racing game, but there's nothing more annoying that if you're racing and someone decides to merge back on the track, and then you just get crashed out anyways again and end up losing more time. So take the time, look for people coming, and make sure that you're not blocking someone who's coming along, and that you're not causing yourself to crash either. Holy shit, just use your f***ing brakes already! How is this still happening? Welcome to number 1, and the number 1 tip I have to give you for Forza Motorsport 7, and it's kind of a cop-out if you guys think about it, but it is just enjoy the game. If you're not enjoying the game, then don't play it, because if you're not enjoying it, then why are you striving to improve in it? Is if it's just a grind, you're just doing it for some other reason. If you're not enjoying the game, you're just not going to proactively get better at it. So if you do want to get better, make sure you're having fun. Don't just grind out stuff that makes you miserable. Enjoy yourself. I mean, like, that's the point of a game, isn't it? Well, guys, that's going to be it for today's video. Do you agree with my list? Let me know in the comments below as well. Let me know in the comments what you think should be part of the top 5 tips for learning how to drift in Forza Motorsport 7 for next week's video. As well, all this having been said, these videos take a lot of time to make, so if you guys could go in the description, follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and subscribe to the YouTube channel, that would be great. As well, we have a Discord server if ever you're looking for people to play Forza with, or you just want to hang out and chat with some fellow Forza people, or just me. Join that server, because I'm always hanging out there, and it's fun to have more people. My name has been Raymond, and I will see you all in the next one. Goodbye!